I mean, you sort of have to dance to that music, right? Yeah, come on. All right. How's everybody doing? No, this is a call, ask, and response. All right, one more time. How's everybody doing? Yeah, all right. That was a little bit of a weak response, but we're going to have an exciting conversation. So you're going to be in, we're going to give you some life here. So welcome to our session. My name is Erin Cox. I'm the publisher of Publishing Perspectives, and this is our session from attention to action, AI and publishing marketing. So today in our conversation, we'll focus less on AI voices and audiobook production and more on large language models in publishing marketing, especially around visibility, relevance, and conversion along the marketing AIDA chain, which is attention, interest, desire, and action. I'm delighted to be on stage today with Rolf Biesemeyer, who is the Managing Director of Digital Publishing at Zebralution, and as a special guest, Amanda Collins, a live conversational AI who is joining the discussion. Welcome.
Thank you.
Rolf, to kick it off, do you want to talk a little bit about how you set our other panelists? We're leaving a chair for her. Yeah. Do you want to talk a little bit about how you set her up before we get into the conversation?
It's all an illusion, so we keep that free. You need to imagine that Amanda's sitting here. Basically, we wanted to make this experiment and keep it very straightforward and simple. So we didn't script a lot. We just prompted once in ChatGPT and said, we're gonna have a panel discussion about marketing and publishing, and we want an AI expert to join the discussion. And you're going to be the AI expert. So, what's your name? Where do you come from? What's your CV, basically? Mm-hmm. And then the persona was created by ChatGPT. So that's her. She'll introduce herself in a moment. And then we put it on conversational mode, and that's it, basically. So it's an experiment for us. I don't know what's going to happen.
We don't know what's going to happen. That's what's going to make today so exciting. Isn't everybody excited? I'm excited. All right, let's start with, what do you think are the biggest challenges that publishers are facing today?
Well, we only have 25 minutes, right?
So, we only have 25 minutes, so top line it. Yep.
It's challenging times because everybody knows this. We're living in a constant oversupply of content and options, and it's a war for attention. Everybody says that, but it's really like that. It's a war for attention, and just making sure that my customers who should buy my content, whatever it might be, if it's a book or an audiobook or digital, whatever. I think that's the biggest challenge, and it doesn't always happen where the content is consumed. So it's not so much about making, trying to make great promotions on a platform, or being dependent on what an Amazon or Spotify does. Mm-hmm. It's about really direct relationship, direct marketing to the wanted consumer. I think that's the biggest challenge, and hard thing to do.
Yeah. If you had to pick one, what is the number one challenge? Gaining attention, the fragmented sales channels, or competition with other media formats?
Well, I think it's really gaining attention. It's top of the chain there.
Too much content.
It's too much content, and it's reach and relevance. I put that two together. Yep. Because you can create reach, but if you don't create relevance, it's no value at all. So you need to know where you put your content out, where your customers are, and then with the right message, create relevance, and then it's click and conversion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now we're going to ask our other panelists. Amanda, hello. Okay. Hi, Amanda.
Silent, waiting for cue.
Amanda, from your point of view as an AI, what do you see as the main challenges for publishers in this media landscape?
Absolutely. From my perspective, one of the main challenges publishers face is the overwhelming amount of content and the need to stand out in a very crowded market. Another significant challenge is personalization, making sure that content is relevant and engaging for different audience segments. And of course, balancing the use of AI with maintaining that authentic human touch is always crucial.
Thank you. Basically agreed with you.
Well, yeah.
That's the real situation. I love it. Okay, so Rolf, where do you see the strongest potential for large language models in publishing marketing?
That's a great question.
I'm sorry, Amanda. Please be quiet for a moment. We're asking Rolf the question.
Thank you. Yeah, you know, I think we're talking AI, and it's always like it's like this magic thing, and it solves everything. I think it's like everything else. It's just a tool in our technology toolbox. And we're talking about AI voices and stuff. I think you can do so much in automating processes, because you need to be quick. You need to create reach in a multiplied way. So you need to automate processes, and AI can help understanding what's being talked about, the context of the message, creating the right match to my content. So to create relevance, as I said before, that's why AI can help a lot, I think. Apart from generating content or voices or stuff, understanding where your audience is and what the relevant message would be.
Yeah. Amanda, how can LLMs or AI in general help create more reach, relevance, and enhance conversion, and possibly make the whole process as effortlessly as possible for the publisher?
Absolutely. Large language models can really help by analyzing vast amounts of data to understand audience preferences and trends. This means that publishers can tailor their content more effectively and deliver highly relevant messaging to specific audience segments. Additionally, AI can streamline workflows, automate repetitive tasks, and provide deeper insights into what resonates best with readers. All of this ultimately leads to greater reach, improved relevance, and of course, higher conversion rates, making the entire process more efficient and effortless for publishers.
Great.
Do you want to ask her first? So she
doesn't repeat exactly what you just said?
Sure.
Yeah. Well, Amanda, I have a specific question for you. Can you maybe take a random book blurb, book description, and tell us how it could be improved with the help of AI and LLMs?
Absolutely. So, for example, if we take a book blurb, AI and large language models can analyze reader preferences, identify trending keywords, and refine the language to better capture the target audience's attention. They can help with crafting more engaging hooks, ensuring that the tone matches the intended genre, and even testing different versions to see which resonates best with potential readers. This way, the blurb becomes more compelling and more likely to draw readers in.
I have a follow-up question for her. Can I ask her? Sure. I'm going to ask Amanda a follow-up question. Amanda, how do you identify the audience for a particular book?
That's a fantastic question. To identify the audience for a particular book, we can leverage AI by analyzing existing reader data, such as demographics, reading habits, and engagement patterns. We can also use sentiment analysis and social media trends to see who's talking about similar books. All of these insights help to create detailed audience profiles, ensuring that the marketing efforts are precisely targeted and more effective.
Thank you. She did pretty good. Ralph, how do you see such tools and using AI fitting into real publishing workflows as they exist today?
There's so much out there, and can be overwhelming. I think it's about creating competence within your company.
So training people,
exactly, to know what it's all about, and also have technology competence, because I think you wouldn't want to rely on tools like ChatGPT for doing stuff for you.
Right.
You would need your own kind of tools, and host them yourself to be safe about content and where it lies and what happens with it. And it's really a matter of learning.
Du hast
And
leider das tägliche Limit für den fortgeschrittenen Audiomodus erreicht.
that's interesting.
What did she say?
We reached the limit for the audio models. So I don't know. She won't
say anything else?
She won't say anything else now?
Okay.
That's interesting. Well, we can try anyway.
Okay. But anyway, you were saying, continue.
So, it's a matter of creating competence within the company and have the right resources to do that yourself, and don't rely on, the big guys out there.
Yeah. What do you think the most common myths you encounter when you're talking to people about AI and publishing?
I think, as I said before, it's just overwhelming. It's just getting the real value, getting a grip on the value that can be created, today.
Right.
It's not a future thing. It's here right now, and you can use it, and you should probably use it today.
Yeah.
Not everything is helpful, of course. I'm subscribed to a newsletter that's called "There's an AI for that." There's an AI for that. And it comes like every day, and it's full of tools and full of ideas and stuff. And I don't even know where to start. But you need to start somewhere.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, it's not just this industry; it's all around us. We're actually all using AI in some way or another in our day-to-day lives. And it isn't new. AI is just the catchphrase for so much of things around us. It's been around for decades. Right?
Yeah, it's one of those labels, right?
Yeah.
And I always think like there's this Gartner hype cycle every year that looks at new technologies and where and how it develops. And there's hype cycle means it grows in interest, and there's a lot of hype in new technologies, and then once the hype's over, then you're gonna start use it, and because the hype's gone.
Right.
We're very much in a hype phase.
Yes. Yes, definitely. Amanda, are you still there? No. Okay. All right. We're gonna pause Amanda for a moment. Ralph, what risk should publishers realistically be aware of when experimenting with AI? Regulations, putting things in LLMs, what?
Yeah, I think the biggest risk is we're working with content here, which isn't our content.
Right.
There's copyright. There's value created by the content. So I would want to make sure that my content's safe. That's probably the biggest risk I'd see. So if you put it out there on an open tool, which is not controlled, and you don't even know what's happening really with my content, that's probably a risk, I'd say.
And beyond publishers, I mean, authors and agents too. So authors, this is not, publishers have licensed this book that they're now selling it in the marketplace and putting into these system, LLMs and things like that. But authors, this is their livelihood, this is their work, and it's being trained without their consent, really. Yeah.
Exactly. And there's different companies, taking it from there, we had an inquiry from one of the big guys who wanted to buy content to specifically train their AI. So they wanted to pay license fees for it. It's still crazy, So I think that's risky.
Yeah, definitely. Unfortunately, Amanda's become ill.
Yeah.
She's unpredictable. Unfortunately, she had to leave the stage. But we have a few more questions for you. So, looking 3 to 5 years ahead, what role will AI play in everyday publishing marketing? Just the marketing aspect of publishing. Do you think we're going to actually adapt it? I mean, you and Amanda made some excellent points and ways that you can streamline marketing for publishers. But do you think we're actually going to adapt to those, start using those tools? We're going to start doing that? Or do you think people feel too personally connected to it?
I think we do. I mean, we're doing it now in our personal lives, don't we? I mean, most of us have been using ChatGPT for researching stuff or, creating text or whatever. I think it's becoming part of our everyday life already, and then it's like every technology, right? People are going to use it more, people are going to use it less. I think it's going to be competitive edge at the end of the day.
Yeah. Can we just maybe poll the audience? Can you raise your hand if you've used AI for any aspect of your work life? Okay, good portion. How many have you used it in your personal life? About the same
There you
amount.
go.
Maybe a little bit more in the personal life.
Yeah.
All right. That's good. So let's talk about. Well, maybe I'll take some questions from the audience. Do we have any questions from the audience? Anybody concerned about? Oh, we've got one question just back here.
It's coming.
Yeah, it's coming. Microphone's coming to you. Running your way. There you are.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I would like to ask you, because when I tried using ChatGPT for stuff like this, it always tells me, oh yeah, we can do this and that. But then you wonder, like, how am I going to get the data that the AI is going to use to analyze which readers I want to reach? Yeah. Because I don't have the data, like my publishing company doesn't have the data, because books are sold in various ways, and a lot of ways are not traceable for us, and we don't have profiles because we are not Google. We don't know all this stuff, and so I think we are kind of we need those bigger companies that can give us this service, and it will be a challenge to host it ourselves.
Yeah, first of all, AI tools today are still pretty superficial, I'd say. They will, as you heard, they will always tell you that that's a great question. You're absolutely right.
Fantastic
question, you're on the right
Aaron.
track. That's always happening. So that's first, and then from a data perspective, that's probably one of the biggest challenges too, right? To get to the right data. And as I said before, not everything is happening on the platforms. So where your book is sold, you can derive data from many other sources. Looking at websites where people inform themselves about different topics. You wouldn't need cookie technology to know what their surfing habits are.
Right.
You can just tell from somebody looking at a website, somebody consuming a website topic, a text, whatever, what the relevant context is, and then go from there and see, what kind of a book, what kind of a topic matches that kind of a contextual environment.
Yeah.
Right. I would start from there rather than looking at the different user and saying, what's the user profile, because that's probably difficult to get.
Yeah. Well, I would say, I've spent my 26-year career has been all in and around book publicity and marketing. And what I always say is you sort of start with the reader and work your way back. Like, what do they read, watch, listen to? What do they do? But sometimes you have a book that sort of, yes, there's sort of a main audience, but then there's this group of people who would probably read it, and this group would probably read it. But there may not be the main people. And if you're using something that is sort of scraping what information is out there that may be talking about the main audience, would you be missing out on some of these sort of side audiences that would read that book, but you're not necessarily, because this is only looking at sort of the main audience, would you miss those things? And so, how would we address that maybe? I don't know.
Well, if we had that one answer, we probably wouldn't sit here. I don't know. But I think it's kind of a mind shift as to. Well, I try to make it easy to say, do I offer my portfolio and my books, and do I expect the consumer to come to me or to come to a shop or wherever the book is sold, or do I have to bring my book to the audience? And there's a difference to it, right?
Sure.
So I need to understand the context, and that's going to become a core competency for every publisher, I guess.
Right.
Rather than concentrating on the content alone and then making great books, of course.
Well, yeah.
But they won't sell themselves.
Right. Right. Yes. Yeah. We talked about this on stage yesterday, where it was bringing the books to the reader rather than trying to expect them to come to you. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely. All right. We have time for another question. Any other questions out there? No?
Originally, we wanted you to ask Amanda questions.
I know.
That's too bad that she, doesn't want to speak to us any longer.
I know.
So
she went off in a huff. Why don't we talk about, sort of one big takeaway? What do you want people, what's your single most important piece of advice for publishers who are exploring AI?
First thing that comes to my mind is don't be afraid. As you could see, I would have hoped she would have been here longer, and she would have shown a few flaws, just to show that it's not all perfect.
Yeah.
It creates the illusion of perfection, right? If she says, you're right, and da-da-da. But it's not. Mm-hmm. It's not perfect. There's still the human aspect in it, and it needs you for the technology to work right. Mm-hmm. So, and I really think that makes a difference. AI alone wouldn't change everything and wouldn't solve all the problems. It needs us,
right?
To make it work. But it's a great tool, though.
And it's the engagement between human and AI. It's also the more you use it, potentially, the better it can be. Is that something that we should be thinking about? Is sort of maybe testing it on other things, or
Oh, absolutely. But then again, you need to. I mean, there's this psychological concept that says, it's called confirmation bias, right?
Yes.
AI is very much confirmation biased, right? So the longer you talk to it, it knows who you are. It takes, like this conversational mode. It now ended here, but we specifically set up a clean and new account for it. That's why it's not paid for. It's not a premium account. We should have done that.
It's all right. We learned. It's all about trial and error, right? Yeah.
But if we'd done it in my account, for example, then she would talk like me, right?
Yeah.
Like the voice would be really similar. Mm-hmm. The argumentation would be very similar. Mm-hmm. Because she knows what I want to hear. Mm-hmm. It's confirmation bias.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, well, that's right. That sounds right. Of course it does, because I think it's right.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's a problem.
Yeah, that is a problem. Do you think one day I will be sitting with the AI version of you?
I hope not.
I hope not too, because we have so much fun on stage together. But if you are using it so much that it starts to sound like you, is that something that could happen?
Actually, I think it's already happening, because if I need to put a piece together, like whatever it may be, interview questions or something else.
Yeah. I'd
always put it through AI just to make sure, it's the best version of me.
I don't do that. When it says, do you want AI to clean this up? I was like, hell no. I am perfect. You can't fix me. No.
No, I always use it as a mirror,
Yeah.
to give me feedback before I hand in something or so. So it's already part of me.
Yeah. Oh, interesting.
Maybe I'm a cyborg or something. I don't know.
Oh my gosh, a cyborg. What is it? We have just 1 minute left. What do you want people to really take away from this? That we shouldn't be afraid. That we should test it out even for fun and see how we do. What do you think?
Well, first of all, don't be afraid. Then it's not perfect, as I said.
Yeah.
And then, not using it is not an option. I think. Yeah. It wouldn't go away. It's like the internet.
Yeah.
Like in the early days, like this internet thing, that's gonna go away, right?
Yeah.
It's not gonna go away.
And then ebooks, and then social media, and
it's not gonna
everything
go away.
else. No, it doesn't go away. Our world is like this. So embrace it. Embrace change. Don't be afraid.
And it's complicated. I'm 54. I don't understand everything, but it's there's no alternative.
But people are afraid of not being perfect, and they're afraid of failing. And so this is a situation in which we need to try it out, right?
Yeah, we had this before, right? It's when I said yesterday, I think it's experience over perfection.
Yes.
Don't try to be perfect, because nothing is.
Right. Perfect.
It's about speed more than perfection.
Yes. Speed so that you can go on to something else. Yeah.
Exactly.
Good. Excellent. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Amanda, wherever you are. Thank you all for your attention. We appreciate it.